What's up, everybody, and welcome back to an all-new episode of Brent Watches Babylon 5 for the first time, except now I'm watching Crusade. Today is our 5th episode, The Needs of Earth. My prediction for this episode was that we're going to be continuing to explore the idea that we got from The Long Road, which is this question of what happens when the needs of Earth, the needs of survival of the species, butts up against the needs of another species, the needs of somebody else. The show with Crusade also has kind of added this additional question, like we got in Babylon 5, who are you? What do you want? Where are you going? But here they've added, whom do you serve and whom do you trust? And so it really occurs to me that Crusade as a whole could really dive into that idea a ton. So I think this is kind of revisiting that idea, that Gideon and the crew are going to come across a planet or some group of people that have something that Earth needs. I posited the idea, maybe it's that bit of information that the alien that was in Wells said that he had right before he went boom, or maybe something else altogether. I don't know. But it's going to be a conflict with those people over who gets this thing. And Gideon's going to have to decide what's right and wrong. Do the needs of Earth outweigh the needs of this species here? And is he just going to take it, or what's he going to do? Like, I think that's a huge question that'll really answer that question. Whom do you serve? And I don't know that this is going to be wrapped up in one episode. I feel like this could have been a series long arc for Gideon. So it wouldn't surprise me if he makes what I would say is the wrong choice here at the beginning of the show, only to, by the end of the show have this arc where he is making the right choices at the end. So anyway, is that what really happens? I have no idea. You guys out there probably know if you've seen the show. I know a lot of you guys haven't. You're watching along with me for the very first time. So welcome to you. I'm enjoying my run through this. I really am. So with that, we're going to jump into this. While you're here, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you like what we got going on here. If you want more of what we do, Jeff and I have a Patreon page where we put some stuff over there. Jeff has all of his reactions over there, made exclusively for Patreon, where I make mine here for YouTube. You can also get access to our Discord server where you get to hang out with Jeff and I, or if you want even more hanging out with Jeff and I, because it's all about hanging out with us, I guess. Wow. We should do some other stuff. We're not that cool, I promise. Anyway, if you want to hang out with Jeff and I, we do a once a month hangout with a certain tier that we have over there. So you guys go over there to check that out. It's patreon.com/Babylon5 first. With that, let's go ahead and jump into this episode, The Needs of Earth. Cheesy music plays. I love it when it says that. Uh-oh. Hello. Network TV, huh? Oh, somebody's watching Bounce Chicka Wow Wow in their quarters. Is that Garibaldi? Oh, it's Gideon. Uh-huh.
Open.
He's full on watching porn, and she's walking in here.
You sent for me, Captain?
Yes, we're almost at the rendezvous point. I figured you'd want to be in on the meeting.
Thank you. There's something you don't see every day.
Mr. Eilerson said that he didn't have time to print up his latest report, so he gave it to me on data crystal. Found this at the end. There's Snow White and the Seven Narns, Who's Your Little Pakmara, others. Leave it to me, Dr. Chambers. Given someone as repressed as our Mr. Eilerson, I can play this one out for days.
Okay, first of all, this one is Who's Your Pakmara? Who's Your Pakmara? Snow White and the Seven Narns. Oh man, look, we all found that data crystal in our dad's sock drawer, didn't we? Oh my word! And he's just sitting there watching it, like drinking coffee, and he is locked in when she walks in. Man,
As a doctor, I have to say that's totally unrealistic.
Yeah.
An alien life form like the Pakmara is not biologically equipped to interface with humans in that kind of...
It's an amazing thing, technology.
Captain Gideon, I am Enloshok, Trulan.
An honor.
Endless shock. We get a ranger.
Dr. Chambers.
And a Minbari. Wow.
So what's this all about?
If you hadn't watched Babylon 5, you wouldn't know what the Endless Shock are. You wouldn't know that this is a Minbari. He would just be some weirdo alien with whatever that thing is on his head. We know it's bone, but I didn't know that it was bone until somebody told me it was bone. So anyway.
Like all the other Rangers, my crew and I divide our time between enforcing the rules of the Interstellar Alliance and listening for any information that might aid your search for a cure for your people. In the past,
Oh, here we go.
those two have never come into conflict.
I feel like this could have been
The
linear.
information I have would require you to violate those laws.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna pause this and talk about that. Because some of you guys are like, oh, it wouldn't make any sense for it's linear, blah, 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 whatever. Listen, this is supposed to be 5 years after Babylon 5. Anything could have happened with Lanier to bring him back in. He is a trained ranger. They don't want to just waste that training. So there's tons of ways that this could still be Lanier. But I don't know. It just feels like that really could have been Lanier. He very much talks like Lanier, has a speech patterns, even looks like him quite a bit, makeup notwithstanding. Or maybe I should say, in spite of the makeup, he still looks a lot like Lanier, like Bill Mumy. Also, they're going after information. Somebody has information that they need. All right, let's go.
The information I have would require you to violate those laws. You will have to interfere in the affairs of another race, help a fugitive escape justice, traffic in stolen merchandise, and break any number of local laws. So the question becomes,
Gideon's the right man for the
how
job.
far are you prepared to go?
Well, that's a great question, too. How far are you
10
prepared to
billion
go?
lives at stake, Trulon. I'll break any law I have to if it means saving them.
He's got a little Cisco in him. I
Something
like
for you,
it.
Captain.
All right, so what we have then is the Rangers have some information. It's going to require Gideon to do a whole lot of stuff that they're not supposed to do in order to save Earth. I find it real interesting that you have a Ranger who's willing to come out here and allow that stuff to be violated and tell them what to tell them. His smile when Gideon said he'll do whatever he has to was very interesting, very telling. So let's find out what happens.
I was wondering if you'd had a chance to look over the data crystal that I gave you the other day.
Oh, no, I've been busy. Why?
Well, I was
Hey,
going
Tony
over my
Amendola.
files, and I think I might have given you a corrupt data crystal. I've been banging the same crystals around with me this last
He's
year.
been
to get
banging
damaged.
the same crystals. Oh.
I'd hate to see you read a corrupt data crystal into your system. It can cause all kinds of havoc.
True, but then it takes all kinds, doesn't it, Mr. Arliss? His name is Nachok Var of Murata 7. According to reports, our subject downloaded all the important knowledge of his race onto a series of high-compression data crystals and then took off. Our source believes that he intends to sell that information to the highest bidder. We'll go in, spring him and the data, and with luck, get out before the Marathi show up.
I vote no. Even if we do manage to get him out, it still means dealing with, well, a thief. But we have to draw the line somewhere.
Obviously, we are walking a very fine line here between what is right and what is moral. And to tell you the truth, I don't know which this is. I only know that it's necessary. I wasn't prepared to do whatever I had to do, unless you have some more thoughts to give us on morality, Mr. Iverson.
She knows.
No other thoughts, Captain?
So far, the things that they have to do, while illegal, seem to me to be beneath the needs of Earth. Like, we're not talking the obliteration of a culture here. We're not talking the obliteration of a world. We're talking freeing a fugitive and some stolen data. So far, I'm on the side of Gideon here. Dude, we're on Planet Hell, man. This is like old Star Trek cassette. Planet Hell.
What brought you here?
I was learning to serve.
Serve who? I talked earlier about really exploring these new concepts of who do you serve and who do you trust. And I think in that scene right there, we really got a great example. Dorina says, I was learning to serve. Well, who do you serve? Is she going to trust Gideon enough? You know, I think these are great questions, and this show could really explore some great stuff. All right, let's get into it.
We're going in.
I gotta lose the gloves.
No, absolutely not. The atmosphere is toxic and
Captain.
kill you at 6.
If we don't get in, the mission is a failure. Now I can handle it. Just take off the gloves when I give the signal.
How can
It's
she
the only
handle
way.
it? Is her species like naturally immune?
Let me know when you're ready.
She needs to have some fallout from that. You know? Uh-oh. She got seen. Uh-oh. She hung around. Yup. Well, that's convenient. I actually thought that was that cowboy dude who was looking for her.
Is that her?
Profoundly.
No! It's all right. He belongs to the Thieves Guild, same as me. There's usually a few of us around a place like this.
Uh-oh.
I knew
I
I
thought
could
that
find
was
him on
maybe
my
like
own
her old
in
slaver.
time, but since we were in a hurry, I left a sign for him during the fight.
When I saw her like delaying at the entrance, she was looking out over the thing, And the thing that glowed, I thought that was like I don't know, something that was left over from when she potentially was a slave on this planet a long time before. Maybe it was like slave quarters or something she was going into. But I thought the guy that she looked at, I thought that was her former like owner, like slaver or master, something of that nature. And he was going to come get her. I like this much better. I like the fact that she wasn't just delaying and not being about her business like she should have been, but she was actually looking for one of her own to help out, and that was very intentional. I really like that. It's well done.
Need to get inside somehow.
I may have an idea.
He's gonna put the porn in there.
Get away from the door.
Uh-oh. She's going rogue. She's a rogue thief.
Sit quiet. What the hell was that?
He's exhausted. We have to let him rest.
Well, thanks to that little stunt of yours, we'll be lucky to get off this rock before they can scramble fighters to come after us. What the hell were you thinking?
Those people were slaves on their way to being sold.
But slavery is legal in this part of space. Why did we have to be the
Because when I was stuck in that room waiting and praying for help, nobody did it for me.
Great.
Captain, we have a problem.
Is it the Marati?
Good chance.
Of course.
Then if you just put those down.
I must hold them until I decide who is deserving to have them.
We heard you planned to sell that information to the highest bidder.
Yes, I'm sure this is what you were told.
Oh, that's Braytac. That's Tony
But there is no
Amendola.
price high enough for what is in here.
Understand that we are the recognized legal authority on our world. This person you have taken on board your ship,
Allegedly.
is a known criminal and a troublemaker. What he has taken would cause us great difficulty in the hands of the wrong people. You must turn them both over to us.
Assuming
fair.
this person is on board, and I'm not saying he is. What if I say no?
He
We
looks
are
really
attempting
familiar.
to be merciful, but we will not allow him to leave this area alive. If that means destroying your ship and your crew.
It's fair. Very fair for them to, protect their interests and
I
whatnot.
say we turn him over.
We still don't really know what's on those data crystals. Like, the ranger said it was the collective knowledge of his people, but he also said that this guy was trying to sell to the highest bidder. He's wrong about one thing. What else is he wrong about?
I brought you here. I have the obligation to protect you.
And I thank you for that, unless you intend to hold me against my will.
He still talks like Braytac.
But I have done what I set out to do. Found what I needed to find.
He's going to give the information
Now only
to
one
them.
thing remains. We must copy these for you quickly.
We will take the data crystals, but Minister Flentak does not wish to sit beside a criminal. None of our people will sit with him. We will send another ship programmed to take him back on autopilot.
They're going to blow him out of the sky.
We will give him a fair trial.
Yes, I'm sure you will.
This does not feel right. Does not feel right at all. That's going to blow up. Watch it. It's going to go kaboom. They will.
I don't like this. It's
Nope.
too easy.
I hope that's the alien shuttles and not their shuttles.
Put me through to the second shuttle. I want to ask Addryc a few questions.
Shuttle 2 is on autopilot, sir.
You mean there's no one else in there?
Yes, sir.
Didn't you tell me? Launch a fighter escort. Tell him to...
Warship powering up forward guns.
Boom. Told you. Told you. I know it was coming. Why didn't they know it was coming?
Destroyed.
I had it down. Matheson was
Warships
standing right
open
there.
control points.
Game over, dude. You got the information. You got to go. That's an
Shall we
internal
proceed?
struggle. No, you should not.
No. No, take us away from here, Lieutenant. Anyway, just take us away.
Sometimes you need somebody else to make the decision. I get it.
Today, the final edict came down. They are burning the books. They are burning the music, burning the art, tearing down the statues. Our leaders say that art is a waste of time, that art is decadent, subversive, indecent. They say we must become more competitive, more aggressive, that we cannot support the drain on our moral strength placed upon us by ideas that do not support the goals of the state. They have erased it all from the planetary data net. If I can escape, I will try to find someone somewhere who can appreciate what we have, what we had.
Yep.
Perhaps
Here we go.
someday
Talk about a mirror to
my
society.
people
Holy
will
crap.
understand what they have lost and ask for it back. That hope is all that sustains me.
What I've seen is beautiful.
Nothing useful then.
No, nothing scientifically useful. But that's not the point.
Sarah, he said that it contained all the important knowledge of his race.
Then I guess it's a question of what you consider important, Captain.
Eilerson said it himself. We have to be focused on the needs of Earth.
And this does. The stories, the music, they're all about hope. Hope enough to inspire a dozen generations. While we're waiting on science to discover the math that will lead to a cure, we need something to sustain us. This is the music and the literature of hope.
This is why it's important when you have a catastrophe that comes through, like a hurricane that just blasted through the United States and the entire Southeast. We have entire cities, towns that have been literally wiped away from the map. Like floodwaters have come in and washed the entire city away, just gone. Devastation like you couldn't believe. The next day, or the next day and a half, was a Sunday. And in America, on a Sunday, that's football day. And most of America sat around watching football the whole day. And then Monday morning or Monday night, we sat around watching more football. And Tuesday, we're talking about football. And Wednesday, we're looking towards the next game. And Thursday, we start Thursday night football. And we got football again. And then Friday night, you got high school football. Saturday, you got college football. And Sunday, it starts all over. That's how it is here in America at this time of year. Not for everybody, but for a huge portion of people. We also had plays going on, musicals, performances that had to go on. Museums were open. And those all seem trivial when you compare it to the needs of these people who are greatly suffering. But I love what the doctor here just said, that while we're waiting on science to get around to doing what it needs to do, while we're waiting on the people to rescue us, this is the stuff that gives us hope and inspiration. This is the stuff that sustains us. Wow, beautiful, beautiful.
So what was on the data crystals? More of Eilerson's special videos?
No, it's hope, at least according to Dr. Chambers.
Hope just broke right through the door. So why you gotta ask what I came here for? Sorry.
Well,
It was my family.
Here we go.
Sold me into slavery to pay off their debts.
Oof.
Did what they had to do. It doesn't bother me. When do you want that back?
When you're done with it.
It still sounds like it's a cool little flute or whatever instrument that is, though. You know, that was a good episode. That really was. That was very much exactly what I thought it would be. Explores that question. And I think I'm right. I think had the series lived, this would be a topic they would come back to probably multiple times and really begin to explore that idea, that concept of who do you serve. Gideon's really clear about it, but I think there's certainly questions that he has to ask himself. You know, they're putting stuff in there. It was a good episode. I like it. I like a lot about what it says. The end result wasn't as heavy as I thought it would be, but it still felt heavy given how they were portraying it. Art's an important thing. Art, entertainment. I remember as a podcaster during COVID, you know, I remember we had the conversations of, you know, do we keep going? And I remember feeling then that I had an innate responsibility to continue the podcast and live streaming and these things which provided entertainment while the world was hurting. And, you know, it had a decent following. Not that I was reaching millions, but, you know, the several thousand that we got to touch through the show. I was doing the NFL show at that time. It was something, you know? It was something. Anyway, good episode. I like it. Can't wait to get together and talk with Jeff about this one. I think the plot itself we probably won't spend a ton of time on, but I certainly imagine the messages we'll spend our time on. Hey, listen, you guys make sure you come back on Monday, find out exactly how Jeff and I dive into this particular episode. It's a good one. I enjoyed it. Yeah, come back on Monday. We'll be right here on YouTube. Jeff and I will talk about it all. Like we said, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with friends that you know, hang out with us on Patreon at patreon.com/Babylon5 First. So until then, guys, take care.